Hi everyone, it's Andy here from Custom Carving. I just wanted to do a quick video really. I've been carving for sort of the past couple of years now, and I just wanted to do a quick hints and tips videos for those people that might be looking to get into it really. Just really been racking my brains about things that I wish I'd have known when I first got started. So yeah, beginner's guide. If you don't know us already, please like and subscribe to the video and join us on the YouTube channel and also at Custom Carving on Facebook as well. So have a look at us. You'll see that probably over the past couple of years, done everything from dragons to birdhouses and wood spirits and everything in between really. So, but this is really for the novices just starting out, might have an interest in it like I originally did, doing the research and thinking, what should I actually know before I get started? So the first thing you've really got to think about is location. Where you're going to do it. If you're like me, I rent my own home. I've not got a huge, massive sort of space where I can have a room with a dust extraction system and things like that. So for me, it's outdoors. So very much weather dependent for me, being based in the UK. And I have to plan my carving around it really to make sure that I can do it. But the biggest thing you've got to think about is how much dust it actually creates. You don't realise until you start carving the amount of dust that comes out. Again, if you're going to be power carving like I do, you're going to need access to electric, and you're going to need some form of lighting as well so that you can actually see what you're doing. So again, important, think where can you actually do it, providing you can find the space to do it. Second thing you're going to have to really think about is the tools. So again, if you're like me and you're not sort of into the whittling side of things, but you want to power carve, you're going to need some form of power carving tool. Personally, I use the Dremel 4000 and I've had no issues with it. I think it's brilliant with the flex shaft attachment. I know there are cheaper versions out there. Black & Decker do a version, Wen do a version. There's lots of different cheaper alternatives out there to try. And do you know what? If you're just starting out, try one of the cheaper ones, see if you like it before you want to invest in something a little bit more expensive, maybe like a Dremel. But obviously it's important before you make that investment that you know it's something that you're going to continue doing. I've had lots of hobbies over the years which I've sort of started, invested a load of money into it and then stopped doing. Wood carving is probably one of the ones that I've stuck with, and that's why I invest in sort of the more expensive tools. Again, as you progress, if you get good at it or find that you do enjoy it, you can always sort of reinvest at a later stage for the better quality tools. Important to remember safety as well. Depending on what wood you're using, some of the dust that they actually create and the fumes can be quite toxic. So always make sure that you've got some form of face mask, which shouldn't be a problem at the minute with COVID and everything going off. I think we've all got them lying around everywhere. So yeah, just make sure you've got a good face mask to stop that dust getting in your lungs. Also, make sure you're wearing some form of eye protection to protect your eyes. You'd be amazed at the amount of times where you're carving some wood which might not be the greatest, a piece just breaks off and then flies off and just misses your eyes. So again, your eyesight's really important. When you're thinking about tools as well, you need to start thinking about burrs. Now there's literally thousands of different burrs out there what you can use with power carving, and they've all got a different function. I've probably built up my collection to 100 different burrs now, and they've all got different uses. I don't use them all the time, and I think it's important to have a look at if you are going to invest in a few good ones that you know are good, that you use regularly. For me, I often use the Kutzall ones. I think they're great for getting rid of material. Again, when you're first starting with carving, you don't realise exactly how much material you need to remove, and that's what takes the time to actually get the finished look that you're after. Again, it might sound obvious, but think about your woods that you're going to be using. Now, I think we all know the best woods are free. So outside my front lawn, you'll probably see about 20 pallets that I'm waiting to break down because it was free wood. Again, if you go for a walk at the weekends, walk around the woods or by the rivers, there's often washed up logs or wood that's been perfectly well dried out. And it's usable for when you're looking to carve. Think about the differences as well. I mean, if you just chop down a tree now, it's going to be very green, it's going to be quite soft, quite difficult to carve, and think about how long it's going to take you to dry that out before you can actually carve it properly. And think about with the woods that you're going to be using, some carve a lot easier than others. There's soft woods, there's hard woods, and they all carve very differently. So, and even the same wood sometimes, if you get it from a different supplier or a different source, it carves very different. So just practice with it, and the more you practice, the more you get used to it. Just on the woods part of things, make sure you understand the differences in the grain of the wood as well. So it's very easy, well, easier to carve face grain. If you try to carve something detailed out of what they call end grain, you will struggle for hours, you'll blunt your tools, and it's not the easiest to carve. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it is very difficult if you're going to be using end grain. So again, just think about the woods that you're going to be using. Also, when you're thinking about tools, think about what you're going to use to sand it with, because you will need something to sand the end piece with to make it look good. I think some of the pieces that I've seen on different groups where they don't necessarily look the best, if somebody had spent an extra half hour doing the right sanding with it, it would look amazing. And I think that's one of the most important things when you're just getting into carving, you kind of neglect and don't sort of think of how important the sanding side of things is. Just make sure you do your research as well, because most of the projects, you don't have to be an artist in wood carving. You have to have an idea and then put it into place. If you can think of it, you can make it happen. But again, do some research. Look on YouTube. There's lots of decent wood carvers out there now with their own YouTube channels, with videos. I follow people like Geordie Johnson. He got me into it over at Carve Fusion. There's also I Can Carve. He's got a YouTube channel, again, really good. Studio on the Lake's another one that I've looked at for more intricate sort of detailed work. So again, find out what it is that you want to carve and research, because the more you research, the better you'll get. And again, with that, don't give up. I think for me, my first few pieces are horrific and I wouldn't put them online, but I've kept them as a memory of sort of how bad I was then compared to how I am now. And the biggest thing for me is it's practice. That's all it is. So dedicate that time each week just to carving something simple. You can use a piece of pine or a branch out the garden, whatever it is, just practice, because the more you practice, the better you get. And of course, the best thing to do is just keep carving, and as you get better, share your results with groups, join lots of different groups on Facebook. By all means, join ours on Facebook, have a look at it. If you like this video and you want more sort of hints and tips, we've got lots of unboxing videos happening over the next few weeks. I was fortunate that I was another year older this week, so I've got lots of different things that I want to try out, and I'll unbox them so everybody can see how they are. And hopefully I've managed to get some time off the daily grind, so there'll be a lot more woodworking projects as well that I'm going to be putting online as well. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe. I'll also put some links in the comments to the burrs and the machines that I use and the tools that I use when I carve. By all means, have a look on there. Yeah, just keep carving. And please remember, like and subscribe the video. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one.